Hi friends, my name's Sophie. Welcome to this lower back focused yoga class. It's a pretty relaxed class. You can keep your socks on like I am. You can dress pretty comfy. We're going to stay low to the ground, no standing or anything like that. Before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so you can be updated when there are new videos, and go ahead and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it at the end. Also, check out this video right here for a class using equipment. We're going to be using a block and some therapy balls. You can also use tennis balls or lacrosse balls, but we'll get into that in the video. Highly recommend having these tools in your toolbox if you regularly have lower back pain. I'm going to be sharing exactly what I do to mitigate my pain really on a daily basis, and especially when the back pain starts to flare up. Check out that video and I'll give you the whole rundown there. But for now, we're going to be doing a nice yoga class for lower back pain. I personally have been dealing with lower back pain for a long time, since I was a teenager, and it's come and gone in many different forms. One of the things with back pain is that it's highly personalized to each person. So if you have, for example, a herniated or bulging disc in your lower back, that might be different from someone who's just experiencing a strain in their muscle. There's all kinds of different injuries, but I highly recommend going to a doctor and figuring out exactly what injury you're dealing with. If you're dealing with really intense pain, you should definitely get that checked out. You'll know what you can and can't do. So for some injuries, bending forward is not good for the back. Some injuries, it is good for the back. You have to figure out what works for you. So as we move through the class today, if anything hurts, if going into it feels painful, then you definitely don't want to do that, because it's going to make it worse. That's what pain is. The pain is telling you, hey, body, it's time to back off. Don't do that. Like, it's a warning sign. So just because I'm teaching it to you in this lower back pain relief class doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for your back. Okay, with all that being said, don't worry too much about it. Just let's get on the mat, let's start moving around. And this is how we start to build awareness and learn about our bodies and what we can and can't do for our particular situation. Okay, so come down onto your back, lay down, and just start with bending your knees and bringing your feet as wide as the mat, and let the knees knock together. Place your hands on your belly or arms by your sides, kind of up to you. Close your eyes. Just take a deep breath in and exhale it all the way out. Feel your back pressing down into the ground. As you inhale, you're filling up the body with breath. As you exhale, you're letting it all go. Continue breathing like that, in through the nose, out of the mouth, or out of the nose, but always in through the nose. And I want you to notice as you do that, what parts of your body are touching the ground, especially the back. So probably the shoulder blades and the upper back, the mid back. The lower back is likely lifted off of the ground a bit. That's normal. And you probably feel the sacrum or the tailbone touching the ground. And the tops of the feet, perhaps the elbows and the arms. Now, gently start to bring the feet in so they're just a couple inches apart from each other. Your knees are separated now. And bring the feet together and the knees wide. So you just get a little bit of a stretch in the groin. This always feels good. Take the arms overhead, grab onto your elbows. Now you'll notice that the lower back is lifted more off of the ground, so there's more of a forward pelvic tilt. Soften around the neck muscles. A big part of the reason why a lot of us experience lower back pain, or back pain in general, is because of stress. Big stressors, little stressors. It's all the same sometimes when it comes to how the body reacts. The body tends to take on stress. The more you can relax, the more you can spend a couple minutes each day softening like we are right now, the more likely you are to get rid of that pain, or at least make it manageable. I'm not here to take rid of your pain. Because the reality feet on the ground. Take your arms down by your sides. And press your lower back into the ground. And then lift your lower back away from the ground. So we're doing pelvic tilts. Keep going back and forth. So in other words, when you're pressing your low back into the ground, you're engaging your core. You can even put your hands there, feel the muscles engage. And then when your lower back lifts, the muscles release and your pelvis tilts forward. And keep doing that a few more times. Even just this small motion here can be really healing, really nice for the low back, especially when you feel it pressing down into the ground. Good. One more time. Nice, and then let it release. And we'll bring the right knee into the chest, interlace the hands around the knee or the shin, and extend your left leg long. Good. Now take the knee out to the right a little bit. Out to the right, just create that opening. Make sure your breath is still flowing nice and evenly in and out. Back to center and take your right leg straight up to the sky. Interlace your hands behind your thigh. Flex and point your foot, and you'll feel that into your calf, into your hand. Maybe give it a few circles. Good. And then bring your knee back into your chest and grab onto your knee with your left hand and take the knee over to the left side, really gently, and the right arm out to the right side. If you feel pain when you do this, then just back off a little bit less of a twist. If your back feels okay here, just continue drawing your knee over to the left side. We're just being really gentle here, nothing huge, no crazy, intense twists. There was a time in my life for a couple of months where this was painful for my back. So the body's always changing, and now it's really helpful for my back. So just start to tune into the signals that your body gives you. Bring your knee back up to center. Hold it in. And take the left knee in. Take your right leg long. Excuse me, Luna. And then take your knee out to the left. What's really fascinating about humans is some of us tend to hold our emotions, hold our stress in our bodies. And I know I'm one of those people. And others, in fact, we all hold it in our bodies, right? Some of us in our muscles is what I meant. In our anatomy. Good. Right. Bring your legs straight back up. Interlace your hands. And others have it in different. It manifests in different ways. So some, in their bowel movements is where it shows up, or their skin. Flex and point your left foot. I don't know if you can hear my dog, but she's making some noises over there. She's jealous that she can't be here next to me. Okay, bring your knee back into your chest. Hug it in. And bring your knee over to the right side. This side might be different for you than the other side. Just notice that. Continue to breathe in and out. Then bring your knee back up to center. Hug both knees into your chest. And now rock side to side here. Really simple, nice little stretch. Now take your knees wide and rock side to side. Just be here right now. Good, and then you'll bring your knees in. We're going to come up to a seat. So if you have pretty acute pain right now, you might need to roll over and slowly rise up, or you can just rock right up. Come up to a seat, and if you have a hard time sitting upright with your legs crossed, please sit on something. You can grab a blanket, sit on top of it, just to give you a little bit of height there. So then take your right hand down to the left side, and take your left arm up. And take a little side bend. Now I don't want you going all the way over here like that. No, just we're doing a little side bend here. Lifting and side bending. And then we're going to come back up. Put your left arm down, right arm up and over. Stretching the side body. Again, don't go too far, especially if you're feeling any pain there. Good, and then come back up. Nice. Now take your right forearm and anchor and bring it like this. And anchor it down by your side so that right shoulder draws down. And then take your left arm up. And we're taking a side bend again, but this time, notice that you're not going as far over. You're anchoring the right shoulder down. And this specifically gets into the QL muscles. You have two of them, the quadratus lumborum muscles. And they attach from your lower spine to the top of your hip bones, to your sacrum. Good. And then we're going to come back up, release your arms, and we'll do the other side. So left forearm down, take your right arm up, and take a side bend, and then anchor your left shoulder downwards and your left elbow downwards. Deep breaths. And then slowly rise up. Good. And release both arms down. Now reach both arms up. And bring your hands to your heart. Bring your arms down by your sides again. Transition to tabletop with me. You're on your hands and knees. And take little tiny cat-cows. So as you inhale, you dip. You draw your shoulders back and dip your belly down. So you tilt your pelvis forward just a little. And exhale, you gently round your spine. Tiny cat-cows. We're starting here, and then we can make them bigger if it feels okay. So inhale, we're opening up, kind of curling that spine. And exhale, then you're rounding the spine in the opposite direction. Remember, the neck is part of the spine, so the neck goes down too. And again, open, shoulders back. Exhale, round. Then maybe you start to make it a little bit bigger if it feels okay. If either one of those feel painful, just tone it down a bit. It's not worth it to try to push through the pain, because trust me, I know that it makes it worse. It only makes it worse. It's always good to remember that the body always changes. Nothing that you're dealing with now is going to last forever. Round your spine one more time and come back into neutral. Take your knees wide, feet together, and come into child's pose. So put your forehead to the ground. Knees really, really wide to give your back the space that it needs. You can always put your head on a blanket or a block, or even make two fists on top of each other and put your forehead on the fists if your head doesn't comfortably reach the ground. And bring your awareness back to your breath again. Slow inhales, even slower exhales. Good. Let's rise back up onto the hands. And from here, we're going to come onto the belly. So lower all the way down. And then lift up for cobra of your choice, the height of your choice. So that means either your elbows are bent, you're down here, Or you can press into the ground, lift a little higher, shoulders back and down. You're not locking out your elbows like this. Please don't do that. Bend them a little bit. Inhale. Then exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Tuck your toes and make your way up to tabletop. Good. And then back to child's pose. This time for child's pose, you can bring the knees together and take your arms down by your sides, if it feels good. And I like to rock my forehead a little side to side here. And you're just like in a little ball. Good, and then slowly rise up. I'm going to lay right down onto our backs again. So come down onto your backs. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little side to side. We'll take happy baby. So grab onto the outer edges of the feet and bring your feet up. And press the low back to the ground to the best of your ability. I like to grab onto the outer edges. Sometimes I see people like the inner edges. But I'd say the more common way is the outside edges of the feet. Good. And then release your legs all the way down. We'll do a brief Savasana here, arms down by your sides. Please stay with me here because this is important. We'll be here for like 1 minute. 1 minute, you can do it. Let's lay, eyes closed. And knowing that you only have a little bit of time here, can you just drop right in? Can you just trace the breath with the mind? Follow the breath. And nothing else. Total stillness. Now begin to open the eyes again. Slowly bend your elbows and reach your arms back behind you. Take a full body stretch and then take your left leg over to the left side and cross your right ankle on top of your right. Grab onto your right wrist and take a side bend over to the left side. My microphone kind of went out here, started getting staticky, so I'm speaking to you from a different microphone now. Post-production. So you're stretching over to the left, feeling a bend in the side body, opening of the side body. And then come back to center and switch sides. So take your legs all the way to the right. Put your left foot on top of your left ankle on top of your right ankle. Grab onto your left wrist and take a side bend over to the right side. So you're getting a side body stretch now in the left side. You're making like a rainbow shape or a C curve of the spine. Good, and then unwind, come back to center, and just roll over to the right side, pausing on the right side for a moment. And use your top hand to press down and press yourself up to a seated position. Thank you so much for joining this quick little class. I hope it was helpful to you. Again, check out the video on using props and tools to help your lower back pain if you still feel like you need a little more. Highly recommend it. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and your night. Please, let's bring the hands together. Thank you for practicing. Let's bow together. Namaste.